April 6, 1968, I was a college student. I was going to school at Wilson Junior College. It's called Kennedy King now. It's on the south side. And I was kind of engaged in the black student movement at that time, but not so much politically engaged in trying to create social change as we know social change to be. When they actually assassinated, Dr. King down in Memphis, it impacted a lot of young people. And we took to the street. I mean, they took to the street. I've never, ever, did anything illegal other than be black. The police came down pretty fucking hard, Then the mayor, Daley, Richard J. Daley Sr., issued a shoot to kill order. Anybody that was out there rioting or looting, don't arrest them, shoot them to kill them. That woke a lot of people up. A day or so later, the National Guards were platooned in the neighborhood, and particularly the west side, North Lawndale, East Garfield, West Garfield. You had tanks rolling down the street. A fucking tank, man. Sitting on Roosevelt Road in Pulaski. Rolling down the street. I said, what the National Guardsmen walking up and down the street, with M1 carbine, M1, that's what they had at that time. So what's this overkill? And it wasn't the first time that it happened. It had happened before. I think it was in 66, 67, a little kid got ran over by a fire truck, that came out of Wilcox and Pulaski. And people rioted. They sent the National Guard. That wasn't the first time we'd seen the National Guard in our community. It was a normal thing that we experienced, and it made you want to resist. We knew what was going on in August of 68, with the yippies and the hippies, Jerry Rubin, Abby Hoffman. It was not something that we thought was cool because we had already witnessed the brutality of the police. I don't think that they believed that the police were the police that we said the police were. I don't think that they believed that the police was gonna beat the fucking shit out of them. It was a lesson learned. It organized them. It made them do a reality check. And it helped them understand that the brutality, and the repression that the poor and oppressed communities had talked about for years was real. And out of that movement came some real stalwart, organizers. In my role as Deputy Minister of Education for the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, I had an opportunity to coalesce and work with the Young Lords and the Young Patriots, Junebug and Preacher Man in particular. Rising Up Angry group that was ran by Mike James. good friend of mine, and that was the genesis of the Rainbow Coalition, which was basically the beginning of coalition politics, as we know coalition politics to be, you know, people forming alliances to accomplish certain political goals and agendas. Actually, the Rainbow Coalition conceptually started in Oakland, California, San Francisco, and Peace and Freedom Party. So the concept of establishing a Rainbow Coalition came from that. We organized the Rainbow Coalition here uh, under the leadership of Chairman Fred, with the Young Lords. And part of that coalition was Rising Up Angry with Mike James, Students for Democratic Society, Rim 1, because they split. You had Rim 1, Rim 2, then the motherfuckers flipped into the Weathermen with Bernadine Dawn, and they started going around blowing up shit, fucking around with Eldridge Cleaver, Oh, God, I could go on and on. 1968 was a critical time which formed the basis of the Black Panther Party here in the state of Illinois. And we started our organizing in the spring of 1968. We were officially recognized in November of 1968 when we became a chapter under the leadership and organizational understanding of Chairman Fred Hampton. In the very beginning, we were romantic, thinking that we were going to flip the script, we're going to change this system around, so then therefore the first will be last, and the last will be first. But it would be equality. Everybody deserves a right, to a decent life. Everybody deserves free health care. You know what I'm saying? Everybody deserves housing that's decent. Point number 10 of our platform and program said we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. And as our major political objective, a United Nations supervised plebiscite, which is a vote, to be held throughout the black community, in which only black colonial subjects would be allowed to participate for the purposes of determining the will of black people as to their national destiny. That was the original platform in 1966, but it changed to include oppressed people as opposed to black people. Have to emphasize that now that we were the People's Party. We were only strong as the people were, and at different points in times we abandoned the people and became elitist and egotistical. And today we're asking people to learn from our mistakes and not replicate what we did, in the sense that we isolated ourselves away from the community, and then therefore we weakened, our organizational infrastructure, because the people no longer protected us. We were only as strong as the people. Here in the city of Chicago, our programs were awesome. People supported us. Our offices over at 2350 West Madison was attacked by the police on 3 different occasions. You know, we got raided in April of 1969. We got raided again in July 1969. And we got raided again in October the 4th, 1969, which at that point, I was in that office when they attacked us. And people came out and they locked all us up. They said we were shooting at them, but it wasn't us shooting at them. It was the people shooting at them. We felt like they were occupying army. That's what they fucking were. Intimidating, but not to a point where you were fearful of not resisting. It's a reminder, a salient reminder, that we live in a fascist state that's controlled by corporate America. See, our big thing then was being anti-capitalist, you know, dealing with the colonial powers. We saw firsthand how they go into other countries and occupy those countries with their military. You know, a lot of people didn't believe that, you know what I'm saying, that this is what this government does, you know. But then when you see it, them doing it to their own citizens. So, you know, you got 2 options, you know. It could traumatize you into inaction and give you psychotic, you know, moments of anxiety. Or it could put you in a state of mind where you want to organize and educate people to resist at all costs.